Yeah, how's it going, everyone? In today's video, you're going to learn how to implement search in React by basically typing in something in here, and voila, you're going to look for spaghetti carbonara. For example, let's search for pizza, 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 pizza. You can also clear search, and we're also going to learn how to use categories, only showing you, well, select the categories from your list. So we are going to work on our previous project. If you didn't follow along with the project, no problems. You can check out that video. If you don't want to start from the beginning, you could just watch the video because I'm going to explain in detail how search works in React. It's just a little bit of JavaScript. And we're also going to do a full recap right now. So let's get started with the recap. Don't forget, like and subscribe. So in our previous video, we created this page. We have a navigation up here, which does not work like in our finished project. Due to the fact that we're going to implement React Router later on in a different video. So I'm going to slice everything up into separate videos, only focusing on specific problems in React. Now, we implemented the search bar, we implemented the footer down here, and then we implemented the recipes page. For now, the entire application is in one file. We are exporting here a function, exporting it as default, the app, which has a couple of components. The header component, by the way, if you click on a component in React, so if you hold down Control, it's going to show you the component, and then it's going to be underlined. If you click on it, it's actually a link, which is going to send you down to that specific function or component. So this is the header component. It just has a tag of header. We are using, by the way, Tailwind CSS to style everything. The links right here, as you can see, are just regular anchor tags. And also we are looping over an array of strings, which is going to give us this nice little navigation items. We are going to replace this later on using React Router, but for now, this will do. So I'm going to minify this, and then we have our recipes page where we are currently working on for now. The recipes page is actually bringing in a couple of elements, a couple of components, which for one is the recipe module, because if we click on one of these recipes, you're going to open up a module, and you can then close that module by just clicking on the X button. The entire website is completely responsive, as you can see right here. We're going to now work on search. So let's continue on. So in order to implement search, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to recreate what we have here in our finished project, because current project we don't have any kind of search possibilities. So first of all, we need to create a UI where the user can search. So we're going to create a search field. We're going to also create the categories field, and then the clear search. This is very important. Many websites do not implement this, or application. This is such a critical functionality from my point of view, because if you type something in, you can't find it. I just want to be able to boom, click and clear everything will be brought back. So as soon as we clear the search, we're going to actually receive the entire database back again. So let's go here in our recipes page. We're going to go down to our return, and from here, right after the sections, now we're going to create a div with the class of container and dot margin on the axis of auto. And now I'm going to take everything that I have here, so filter and so far and so on, and move it into this container. Now the selected recipes will remain outside of the container. So let's hit here, save, go to our project, there we go. And now let's add this title of featured recipes. So I'm going to go right after our div with an h2 with the class of text-free-xl, and then font. I'm going to increase the font, so make it bold. And margin bottom, let's give it 8. Let's place the text as center, -center. And let's give the color of text and gray 800. Okay, enter, just going to paste in the featured recipes. There we go, there's our text. Now after this, I'm going to create a separate div with the class of flex, and then flex column, create this. And within here, we're going to have these 3 items. So this input, this select, and this button. Let's go ahead and create them. Now this is not completed, the div. I just want to type in a input, then a select, and after the select, of course, a button. So 3 elements, and this will be clear search. 3 elements, input, select, and clear. Now let me first of all style the clear button. So class name, and the button here has the same effect as the navigation text, we're going to have a gradient background. For this, we're going to go with PG gradient. We're going to go to the right, so to R. Then we're going to go from amber. We need to specify now what kind of amber. We're going to go with 500. And we're going to go to orange and also 500. Okay, so we should already see. Yep, there's a button. Now let's change the text to white. Let's add padding on the y-axis. So padding y of 500. I'm sorry, just 500 padding. That would be a lot of padding. Padding on the x-axis of 6. Going to round down the edges to full, so rounded. There we go. Now for the hover effect, now finish project, we're just changing the direction of the gradient. So we just need to switch it up. So basically I'm going to type in here hover, and then from orange 500, because that was the last one, and again hover to amber and 500. And we should now have effect. Okay, let's add a cursor point at the beginning, cursor and pointer. Okay, now the little thing is showing up here. You know that I don't like this abrupt hover, so let's add a transition with here, transition all, and also duration of 300. Okay, much mover hover effect. Now the button will have a on-click effect, but I'm not going to implement it now. We are still working on how everything should look. So let's go up back to our div and let's work on this flex, because now we should be able to see something. So let's first of all work on responsiveness. So when we are in a medium size, then we're going to medium size screen, then we're going to flex in a row direction. We're going to justify with center all elements. And let's add some modding to the bottom of 6. We're going to have a space on the y-axis of 4. Now when we're in medium size, we want to change that space on the y-axis to 0. And let's also change in MD the space on the x-axis. So space x-axis on 4. Okay, there we go. So just when we come down to a mobile format, they're going to be displayed in row direction, and in everything that is above a medium format is going to be displayed in a row. Wait, the other way around, in a row direction when we are above a tablet format, let's say, and in a column direction when we are underneath of a tablet format. Okay, now let's move on to the input tag. The type, you should leave it as text. You could also, by the way, if you change the type, don't leave the type in here. So if you delete the type, it's going to be text by default. So you can, if it's too much information, you could just delete the type. Nothing happens as long as you want the type of the input to be a text type. I'm just going to type in first of all a placeholder of search for recipes. You see, there we go. There's a placeholder. And now let's style it. So let's add classes to it. Width of full, take the entire width of whatever width is left after we separate them using the flex property. Now let's add a bit of responses. So in a medium size, we're going to have a width of 1 divided by 2, so half. Then we're going to have a padding on the x-axis of 4, a padding on the y-axis of 2. So remember that half of percentage, 50% ratio. So we're going to then round it as full. And let's add border, and the border should have a gray color of 300. On focus, there's the border. When we are in a focus, so when we click in here, we're going to take out the outline none. So click in here, that thick outline is gone. But now let's add a other type of outline. For this, we're going to use focus and ring. Wait. Focus, ring, and 2. And focus, ring, and amber color of 500. Okay, that should be pretty much it. We know that we're focusing now in the ring there. So let me just take a look. Okay, this is working perfectly. Now let's go to our select. Also needs a bit of styling. And we're going to come back to the input and the select and the button. We're going to add some functionalities to it. But first, let's just work on styling. So right here, name and ID, you can just delete them. We're not using regular JavaScript. Now let's add some classes to it. So class and width full once more. And it's almost the same. So I'm just going to copy this part without everything that we have here. copy. We have it in the select, in our input. Okay, so there's our select. The only difference is that this is going to be 1/4. Now let's pass in here a couple of options. Option, don't need any value for the option. We're just going to have all categories for now. So categories. And now after this option, so this is the first option, we're going to add in here a open and close curly brackets, then open and close square brackets. We're going to destructure here a new set. I'm going to take the recipes. So recipes dot map, open and close parentheses, open and close parentheses one more time. Each and every recipe now will be sent down here. Take the recipe, and we're going to take from the recipe the category. I'm just showing the database. So where's the database? There's a database. Each and every recipe has a title, a category, image, ingredients, so on and so on. So here's the category, okay? So this is what we're going to take here and use it for each and every option. Now, after we have those, we're going to, because this is once more a new array, we're going to use the map again. And within here, we're going to take each cat, so each category, and each index, our function, and just get back a option. Each option is going to have the key. And for the key, remember, as I told you, I'm going to use now the index, but you could use unique IDs with UUID. Maybe we're going to implement it later on. Now, for the value of each and every option, we're going to set the category. So cat, and then down here for the display, we're going to have also the category. Okay, so we should already see here pizza, pasta, dessert, salad, main course, and so forth. So now they're a little bit mixed up. I didn't work that much on which every each and every element is in here. But for example, this is not working right now. So let's just go here to our finished project. So if I go to pizza, you're also going to see the burger because I didn't go into the database and recategorize it. So it's not a bug, it's a feature. No, it's not a feature. I just was too lazy to recategorize the burger as something else. Okay, fast food, whatever. So if you want to go then into the database and recategorize each and every element, but I'm just showing you how it's done. So this is not fine-tuned, a ready-to-go project. It is a ready-to-go project. You just need to fine-tune it a bit. That's on you, because now you know React. You have the power. Okay, so this is it for the select. Select is working perfectly. The only thing we have to do here then later on is actually we're going to work now on implementing search and filtering. So first things first, we're going to create, now, you know what? Let me work myself from down here upwards. So we're going to go to the button, and on that button, as I said, we're going to have a click event. So right after here, after we have our last class, we're going to add it on, click, and when we're going to click on this button, we want to trigger a function which is going to clear search. Okay, now we don't have this function. We're going to throw an error. So let's create our clear search function. We're going to go up outside of the return, and here we're going to create a const clear search, assign to an error function, and this is basically just going to set the search query and redefine it as empty. So we need a setter for set search query. So let's create up here a state for it. So const, open square brackets, we're going to have search query and set search query. Okay, and we're going to assign this, use state. I know it's throwing an error, but we're going to take care of this. So state, and we're going to assign here basically nothing. An E here. Okay, search. As you can see. Okay, so set search query. We're going to reset the search query to nothing. And the other thing that is going to do this clear search is also going to set category, E here, category also to nothing. So let's also create this one. I'm going to just copy set search query, replace this with category and set category. So basically this down here, also to an empty string. Okay, so this is what this little button will do, is going to reset these two states. Now, where are we using these two states? First things first, let's go and after this useEffect and create a different useEffect hook. useEffect, go in here and let's just work on two things. First of all, the search query. So we're going to create here a const, call it query, assign it to search query, And each time, let me just show you something. So each time I type something in here, it's going to be set in a query. What I don't want to do, if the user types, for example, just activate the caps lock, spaghetti, that it's not going to show spaghetti because it's uppercase. So what I love to do, so as you can see, it shows spaghetti, although I'm typing it in as spaghetti or pizza. It's showing it because I'm always using on a search query dot to dot to lowercase built-in function here by JavaScript. So it's always going to take the search query and just take it as lowercase the entire thing. Now, as soon as we have this query, we're going to, let me just scroll down here. Let's create a const, not a variable, with result. Because the query is only that what we're sending in, but we need the result. So the result is equal to the recipes dot filter. Now we're going to use the filter method. And once more, I have a complete breakdown on all, but I mean all of the high order array methods on on array on my YouTube channel. Check that one out. I'm explaining each and every one of them on its own, what they're doing, where the use cases are. So for example, because we're searching now for something specific, we need to filter it. So we're filtering through the recipes, and we're returning here, in close parentheses, a recipe singular, that is the recipe dot title. So we're searching for multiple things, because I can search for spaghetti, or I can search for also the ingredient within that specific thing. So margarita, there we go, margarita, sauce, tomato. Okay, so also if I'm searching for specific elements in the recipe, it's going to show up. Okay, rucola, maybe not. Rice. Okay, so you get the idea. So not only that we're searching for the title, that, and now when we're searching for it, we need to implement the same thing. So once more to lowercase. And that includes, we're using also the include method, the query that we're sending down there. Now we could also opt for a or, which not only we're searching for the recipe, but also searching for the for the recipe's title, but for the recipe's ingredients dot sum, another higher order array method. The ingredient, and now we're going to create another arrow function, is the ingredient that we search for. So dot lowercase once more, and dot includes that query that is passed down here. Now to make things even more complicated, we're going to create another or, the recipes, because we also can search for category. So the recipes dot category is now, don't forget, to lowercase, is included, so includes the query. Simple as that. So that is the big search, but we're not done yet, because in this useEffect, after we have our result, we're going to set filter recipes now. So remember, when we're pulling in here everything, we're just pulling in an empty array, then we're setting it to the recipes, to set the filter recipes to that recipe, and now we're resetting it when we are using that query. So it's going to constantly change. Just keep that in mind. It's going to constantly change to whatever we pass in here. Now, in order for this to be re-triggered, we need, after this this curly brackets, we need a comma, open close square brackets. This is the setter, so it's going to reset that useEffect hook each time we search or we change the state of the search query, or we change the category. So these two states will re-trigger, either one or both of them will re-trigger this useEffect and set the filtered recipes to whatever we pass in here as a category. So if the category changes, then either the results, not the recipe, result dot filter, taking the recipe, filter, open and close parentheses, and another parenthesis, the recipe, now an arrow function, dot recipe, dot category is equal to the type and value of the recipe. And didn't close up here. Let me just take a look. Oh, I'm missing one more element here. And if this is not true, then just get me back the results. Okay, now we need to trigger this by implementing it into our input. So we're going to go down to the input. After we have our classes here, we're going to say that the value will be the search query. And this is going to be triggered on change And each time a event is sent in here, so the event is changing, we're going to set the search query to whatever the e.target.value is. Okay, meaning that now if you type in here something like chocolate, then chocolate will appear, ladies and gentlemen. And also if I use caps lock, chocolate or pizza, I love pizza. I really love pizza. Pizza Diavolo is my favorite pizza. Okay, so search is working. Now let's also use our categories, so filtering. Also, let's see if I type something in here, click on clear search. It's going to reset the search. Also, let's use the categories. And for this, we're just going to go to the categories, to the selector. Where's the selector? Selector, there we go. After the classes, we're going to implement here, first of all, the value of categories. I have caps lock activated. And also on change, well, basically the same thing. We're going to take that event and pass it in here into set categories now this time, and the e.target.value will be the category. So let's filter here after pizza. As I said, it's not working that good. Salad, there's an egg salad, fish salad, fish salad. And it's working. So this is the way you implement search into React. Also, let's just clear it. It's going to reset this. Let's search for something, reset this, search for pizza, and reset this, or you could just delete it and everything will appear. Okay, so I hope you understood how filtering and search works. Actually, search works because it's implementing multiple options. Now, just keep in mind that map creates a new array but does not destroy the old array, and filter does destroy it. That is why when you're using filter, so pizza, only those show as a new array, because when we use that filter, it's re-triggering this recipe, selected recipes, and this is where the recipe is actually shown. So this is why you are only be shown right here. Filter, that's the model. Filter recipes map, and it's filtering over the so it's looping over the filtered recipes, and the filter happens before this. So remember, each time we type in here something, useEffect takes a hold of that thing that we're typing in. It's sending it to filter recipes. It's resetting its value. And when we are grabbing on here to filter recipe, it's already a new state, already a new filtered recipe. So hope this was helpful. Like and subscribe. Check out my courses. Become a member. You're going to get all of the courses for free and all premium projects for free on the YouTube channel, of course. And catch you next time. I'm NovaPM, and I teach web development. Happy coding. Bye-bye, bye-bye.